You are now tuned in to Dubstep FBI. What is up, headbangers? I am your co-host, Yessie, and I got my girl, Chrissy, on the other line over here. Today, we have detained a very special guest, Whales. What is up?
Hello. Hello. Nice to be here. Nice to meet you.
Where are you tuning in from right now?
From Israel, from my very hometown, Ashdod.
Okay.
Sweet. Nice to have you.
I've watched I always, before I have any interviews and stuff, I always check wherever, I checked your stuff. I checked the one with like Marouda. And
yes, Hamish.
I tried to, like, I know him since he was 12 or like 11. He's the best. Yeah. Like me and him know each other since way back. I think 2013 or 14, like minimum 14. He was going by Elephant Man, and I was still going by Sexwell. It was before both of us blew up. I think I had like 3,000 followers on SoundCloud. He had like 500 followers on SoundCloud, and we were very young, like very young, very, very young.
You still are very young.
I'm 21. I'm not that bad. Like,
making us feel old.
Yeah, we're old now.
Technically, like, when I started doing music, I was like 8 years old, and I started touring internationally when I was 15. So I had such a crazy decade that for me, I'm like, I'm not young. I'm anything but young. I lived by my own in so many countries. I toured in so many countries. I did all these things in such a young age. So I don't consider myself young, but I do think we're all young. There is never, time is not like real, in my opinion. I will never stop myself from doing something because I don't have the time for that. I value my time because I'm a busy person. I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of plans to do, but I will never be like, I'm young, I'm old. I don't think anyone can do anything, and time is not something that can stop you from doing anything. You said that you're like older, but I don't think that if you will be younger, your show, your like podcast will be less successful.
Right.
I feel that a lot of people, when I do lectures, I used to be a teacher in a college, and I did a couple of lectures in some universities in Israel. And every time I do one, there is the older side of people, like 40, 50, even 60 sometimes, that are just passionate about music. And they come there and I'm like, of course you made it. You're like, 18, 19, 16. It's very easy. You had all this time. But, when people know me and my story, for me, it was like a clock ticking, because I was very ill. I have Tourette's, and I was like in life danger, and my mom lost everything. She had cancers, and it was me getting a job or doing something with my life, because I left school. I didn't go for the army. I was like 100% ill and disabled, and it was like, cool. So there is only music that I can do. There is nothing else for my life. And if I'm not gonna succeed, I'm probably gonna be like, me and my family is gonna be fucked.
Yeah, it's life or death almost.
Yeah. So luckily, it succeeded. Not that I ever had an intention of doing career. I just had fun. But it did succeed, and I've been supporting my mom for like 4 years already, like 5 years since the cancer and stuff. And I'm very lucky to do that.
Yeah, not a lot of people can say that. That's really admirable and amazing that you've been able to support your mom.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, like, when people say you're young. I've been supporting a family for like almost 5 years. I have so many responsibilities. I have a business, I have accountants, I have lawyers, I have all that stuff. Like, it's my age is pretty young, but my experience and what I've went through, and my story and everything I've had in life, it's not young. I was pressured into adult's life when I was very little, and like, I just don't feel young. I feel like we all always feel that feeling that we went through everything and nothing is gonna surprise us, and it's just life. And we always feel like life is like we've ran through everything. Maybe it's just me because I've had like 1 year in my life, it's like 5 years in anybody's life because I go like there's so many ups and downs and places and flights and shows and everything just happens so fast. Like this year, last year was the first year that I had like time and I felt the time moving and it was not just like pure pressure. It was a great year, even though everyone, for a lot of people, it was a very bad year. And like, yeah, for sure, I had my first serious tour canceled and I had like 40 shows, 30 shows canceled and a lot of plans went wrong, but I feel great. And I felt pretty bad.
Yeah.
When COVID started, I felt pretty bad. I like not because of COVID, before COVID. I had a couple of like I had a very bad healthy year. My dog died. I moved to the States, lots of pressure, goes on tour, zero time to myself, tried to kind of put everything aside and just focus music. But at the end of the day, I was Whales more than I was myself. And I was overworking. It's an addiction. I still have it.
Yeah.
It's just like always got to do something. I cannot rest. I cannot sit there and watch a TV show. I need to always do something. And it's great for, for the career, but for me, it was pretty bad.
That's what we've heard from a lot of artists too. Like they're kind of grateful that they've gotten to just chill for the last year because their mental health was not a priority, with all these tours.
I'm never gonna go back to the place I was at. I'm always gonna stay this way, even when touring is gonna back. And I actually I can't say what, but I did get booked for my biggest show ever. It's a festival. Yeah. And
Ooh, can you say when?
No, where? What country?
It's in the States and it's this year. You might be there.
Lost Lands, maybe?
I don't know. Like I can't say anything yet about it. Like for real. I just this year might have some surprises, but even when touring is back and I'm gonna, fly out and play some shows and play festivals and stuff and all that stuff, I'm never gonna have the same mindset I've had because when I started touring, for me, it was like, oh my God, I live in this small country and I am able to see the world and see everything and enjoy life. And for me, it was like fun. It was tourism. Like when someone plays in Chicago, it's like, yeah, I've been there. And I'm like, I've been there once. I want to go see stuff. I want to go to this like giant metal thing. I want to go eat some deep dish pizza. I want to have fun. This is my time to live life. But, with COVID, it was just me living in the States, not even doing anything and being surrounded by everyone around me were so depressed and everything was so hard.
Yeah.
And it just it brings you down.
Yeah.
It brings you down because me as a musician, for most of my career, like shows never been the main thing I do. I've been more a producer than a DJ. And as well as my income, like didn't really get affected by COVID, like at all. So watching all my friends struggle that much and me not being in the same page with them and struggling, like thanks God, right? Like I'm very happy, but obviously I did struggle, right? Like everyone did, but compared to people that lost everything, like just stopped and they had to figure out what's going on with them and their lives and their homes and their families, watching everyone just break apart, it was a very hard time. Like in that time, I moved back to Israel. I switched managements. Like a lot of things happened, and it's like I never blame anyone. Just a lot of people went through something that it was unexpected. It was very unexpected, and some people like me took it to a good place to go, and some people just went down and just crushed down.
Yeah, that's the difference between you and other producers who it's all about the mindset. No matter what state we're in, it's all about what you're going to do to make the best of it.
Yeah, when COVID started, I was still in California, and we did this like bedroom session thing, and we it was like a live stream kind of a series.
Oh, with Hi I'm Ghost?
Yeah. So like we got Virtual Art in there and Mode Snap and Mo Kismet and Pixel Terror and Pandas. Like every week we're like a big guest. And sadly it stopped when I moved back to Israel because it was hard to like maintain that. But even when COVID started, like, I wasn't sitting there and be like, shit happens, like, let's just wait until it's back. I was like, no, there is fans that bought tickets to see us and me playing shows. So I'm gonna make it up for them. Even if it means I'm gonna do like live streams every week for like 2 months, I'm still gonna make it up for them. I'm gonna play sets, I'm gonna bring them guests, I'm gonna make them the best. It was all for free, obviously. Like
Of course.
nobody, we didn't ask for like any entry ticket money or anything like that. But yeah, when COVID started, I saw an opportunity because in life, you eat or you get eaten by something. Music is a crucial part of my life. It's a crucial part of my growth. It's my distraction, what helps with my illness and my pain. And just in general, like, I like it. I enjoy it. Anyone that knows me, anyone that ever been in the studio with me, it doesn't matter how big stuff can be. Whenever I sit and make music, I'm excited like a little girl. I can just be so, nothing makes me feel what music can make me feel. And I just told myself when COVID started, I was in a very bad place. And I was like, well, no matter what happens, music is still here. Like, even if career is done, even if touring is done, even if dubstep's done, even if it's gonna last for years and years and years and everything's gonna change, I got music. And with it, I will try to survive. And I don't want to, like, COVID during like the last year being my biggest year. Like, I've got the biggest.
Yeah, you've been putting out music so much.
Oh, that's not even like, the music I put is like 3% of what I've made. There is hundreds of tracks.
You're sitting on so many IDs.
Hundreds of them, yeah. Not IDs, finished songs, like ready to go, and they're gonna come out. Like, this year, it's gonna be pretty crazy. I'm pretty sure there's like, if I'm not mistaken, by the end of the year, I should release around 30 more songs.
Holy
Maybe.
cow.
Yeah, and that's
Wow.
like minimum, yeah.
30. Well, you have an album coming up with 13 songs, right?
Yeah, the album is like 13 songs. It's nothing. I wanted to put like 40, 50 there.
Wow. That would have been insane.
Literally.
I did something like that. One day I just woke up and I was like, I have all these demos and like kind of songs I've never released. I just want to put them away because they're good, but not too good to be like singles. And I just like made this album called, it's not really an album, it's like a compilation called Music I Never Had the Chance to Release. And I just put it out. It's like 33 tracks. Just one day, 33 tracks. Yeah. And it's like everything. It's like house and dubstep and trap and hip hop and whatever, like lo-fi.
See, that's what's so cool about EDM is that I love seeing producers go to different subgenres, and like maybe someone who normally makes dubstep is going to start making bass house or D&B. Like, I'm all for that because it means we get a new spin on D&B, So that's super cool.
For me, it's like, I never put myself in the category of like dubstep whales, It's always been music. And my biggest songs, the ones with like hundreds of millions of streams, are all like pop EDM and melodic EDM and that kind of stuff. I love, when I play shows, dubstep is like my favorite. I love the energy. I love the groove, the flow, the heavy bass. It's like my favorite. But even though like with COVID, it's I feel like I've kind of created my own space of music and my own, like my sound signature during the last year went in like insanely, like, how can I describe it? It's mine. I feel like it's mine. Before COVID, I felt like a lot of my sounds were unique, right? It's not that I stole or copied them, but I could not listen to my music and be like, yeah, this is something nobody's doing right now. It's like just me. Everyone has been doing this rhythmic sound, like the tear out dubstep sound. And with COVID, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break, like a little break from dubstep, however it takes, even if it's like a year. I'm gonna take a break because I'm not gonna sit here and try to make the same thing over and over and over again with a different name, right? So I took a break and I made melodic music and pop and EDM, and like everything that came out of this is amazing because I've met so many vocalists and I've learned to work more in a pop standard kind of sound, and really it opened my mind to so many things. And then when I came back and tapped back into dubstep, my sound was so unique that I was managed to, get some really big collabs and, so sign some really big tracks and achieve stuff that I would not achieve a year ago, because I took the time to, if I pitch a demo to a big artist, he's going to be like, yes, this is something new, it's different. And I will not get it by myself or by someone else. So let's work with WHALES. And I'm pretty proud of it. To be honest,
yeah, you should be.
It's been a crazy year for sure. Musically, like I feel like I'm pretty convinced that since a year ago exactly, I've made more than 400 songs.
What?
400? Did everyone hear that? What?
Oh man, you've been cranking.
It's just my speed. I've always actually people sometimes get very mad when I speak about like how fast I work. It's like, oh, you're just trying to quantity and over quality, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, it's just like when I work on music, I'm excited. When I'm excited, it's like when someone is young and he play this new game, right? When you binge a TV show, right? You start to see the first episode and you're so curious, you just sit there and finish the whole season in a day.
It's like a waterfall.
That's a song for me. Like when I start something, I'm so excited. I'm so curious to see how can it, come out. And I just work on that, and it's been a day and I'm done. I never sit there and overthink music. Music is fun. I don't want to. If I'm gonna overthink my music, my fans and my supporters and the listeners will overthink it too. I need them to enjoy it as much as I do, and obviously keep the quality high. That's why out of the 400 tracks I've made, I'm only going to release 30 because there's the quality control effect in here. And I'm lucky enough to have a team that helps me to this track is great, but it's you have better, and it's just about it's the mindset of not every track I make need to be released. Not every track I made need to be my biggest track. I'm just having fun with music, and whatever is best is going to release.
Yeah, well, and the beauty of it is that you're doing it for yourself. And like you said, music is going to be the constant in your life, whether you're touring, whether you're stuck at home, whether you're, not on the road or not, it's always there. And that's the beauty.
And it's always been music. Like, that's the thing. I've never had life without this, I've never had life without anything. Since I was 8, I started to make electronic music.
8 years old, a young prodigy.
Wow.
And it's funny because I don't remember much stuff from my life before I was making music. Like most of my memory is built on, when I was 8, I started to make music. When I was 10, 11, I started to release my music. When I was 12, I played my first show. And since
12 years old, where was your first show?
In Jerusalem, in Israel. It was a funny story because I was making music, producing music, and my music was great. I'm not gonna bring myself up, but I was 12 years old, 4 years into making music, so my level was not that bad. And I just messaged this promoter on Facebook. We had a one line in dubstep that does in Israel that does dubstep and trap and that bassy music. And I was like, hey, I'm 12. Here's my music. If you would ever be able to give me a chance to play one of your parties, that will be great. As weird as that, as direct and cliche as that, he was like, he checked the link and he was like, honestly, I was not going to check I'm not I get so many of these messages, I'm never checking them, but I just checked the link. Wait a minute, are you 12 and you made this track? And I'm like, yeah, I completely made this track. I'm 12 years old. I'm I'm in 7th grade or 6th grade for sure. And he was like, okay, let me see what I can do. And I played my first show. I have the poster, I have pictures, videos, everything. I was the last to play. I think that the club that night we had 1,000 people in there. It was pretty big.
Holy cow!
Wow.
But I obviously played like in 5 a.m. So I had like, I guess like 100 people, 200 people. But imagine going from like a kid with Tourette's, super like unconnected to the world, no friends, bullied, like, I was like completely going by myself. When someone starts making music usually, and he's young, he has these friends that are supporting him and all that. It was just me and me and me and me for years. I was just making music for me. So yeah, he gave me this chance and I played, and I always looked very mature. So nobody really noticed. It was like 16 plus event. Nobody really noticed I was 12, which is funny. Like I looked older than some other DJs in that show. I was
We need to see
very
pictures of this.
Yeah, did you have facial hair back then too?
No, but I did like started to grow my facial hair at like 16, I think. So I had the facial hair in 16, but I was like I lost 150 pounds. So I was like very, very, very big. So my face was like this. So you could not really see the facial hair. But when I lost weight, like when I started to lose weight, my face got smaller and you could actually see facial hair. So people like were always like, oh, you're like 17 with facial hair. And I was like, I've been having it for 2 years. I was just too fat for anyone to notice that.
Wait, so what was your alias?
Sexwells.
Always from the beginning?
From the beginning, okay.
Yeah, no. The first show was still Sexwells. But before the Sexwells, I used to go just by Tal Roachman, my name. And I've released quite a lot of music, at least like 50, 60 tracks. But back in time, there was no like, from like the age 11 to 12, I did that. And there was no, I mean, maybe Spotify was a thing, but I was not aware. For me to release music was putting it on SoundCloud and YouTube and just having it there. Nobody like, maybe every video had like 1,000, 2,000 views, but that was like the maximum. And it wasn't dubstep, it was like house and electro, kind of dirty Dutch, like Afrojack days and all that 2010 club music.
Oh yeah, electro house.
Yeah.
Yep, all that kind of stuff. And the story of WHALES, like why I did the switch, is because like I've realized that dubstep is very hard to make. It's harder to make than like house. It's harder to make than trance, because the sound design back in time and still today, it's very complicated. It's not like just one note or like one oscillator. You need to put tons of effects, tons of manipulations, tons of LFOs. It's a big deal. And back in time, there was like YouTube was a thing, but in 2011, if you would search how to make dubstep, you will see one how to be Skrillex tutorial, and you could not even understand anything. So I was like, maybe if I changed my name and dedicated myself to make trap and dubstep, maybe I'm gonna finally make dubstep. And that happened. Like I changed to Sexwells. I still didn't know much how to make dubstep, but I put in my SoundCloud bio dubstep and trap. So I was like, I kind of like played myself like,
you had to conform.
Yeah. Now like everyone that's going to your profile is going to see that you're making dubstep, and they're going to like follow you, and you're going to disappoint them with some house. Now you need to learn how to make dubstep.
It's just a troll move on your part.
And that actually worked, like that's why like everyone's like, oh, why you change your name from Sexwells to WHALES? Because when I started Sexwell, that was a troll move. I didn't know what that meant. So I was 12, like 12, 13. Sex is funny because, like I'm a kid, and WHALES is an animal. I've looked for something I can market myself off, like any figure, I'm a graphic designer, I'm doing video. So I like in my head already had like, marketing. So I was like, well, animals are always good for like marketing.
Yeah.
I can use this whale picture in anything I do and put like a whale in everything I do. So Sexwells, what a great name. Yeah,
love to see it.
Definitely not something I would expect to get billion streams online, huh? Oops.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, but that was like how it happened. I just made the name, started to make dubstep. And first I made a couple of tracks, nothing really happened. I was like emailing all these YouTube channels back in time, 2013, that like, they have like 10K subscribers. They upload me, I get the 2,000 views.
Like Cloud Kid?
No, I don't know if it was a thing, but all these like very random channels with some anime pictures, and you know, like, even before dubstep got her, even like stuff that was very, very early when NCS and Trap Nation were very small. Like everything was so small, and I just emailed everyone I know. And also, like, I think the moment that stuff got a little serious is when there was this thing called dubstep.net, if you remember. And that was like the SoundCloud dubstep main place to hear dubstep. Every track they will get a lot of exposure. I think it was by EDM.com or something. I'm not sure, but that was like the main source to get dubstep was dubstep.net. Like that was the deal.
.net. That's such like an old tag on the URL.
Yeah.
.net.
So basically, there was that thing, and I was like, I gotta be in the channel. And I've emailed them time after time after time, and I got rejected each time. And then one day, they said yes. And I got that exposure. It was my track, Sleeping in Class. I sampled like Freddy Krueger or something scary. Back in time, if you remember, sampling movies was a big thing. You would sample a lot of movies and, you know, like scary movies and just all TV shows and all that stuff. So I had the track in the channel, and that kind of exposed me to a little bit of the scene. I was still very young. I think I was like 14 at the time. And from that track, it was easier to get on more channels because, you know, like I've been in this channel. So if someone search for my name, they're gonna see that thing. And it's gonna be like, okay, he's not that small. We can put it in our channel. So slowly started to get another upload. And like the track like overall got like 100,000 views. And for me, that's like 14 on SoundCloud, I was like, okay, maybe it's starting to grow. After a couple of years with no much of like nothing really happened. So I was like stuck, and I was reaching out to artists that I liked, and I was like, hey, I got this song, you know, like it's got like 100,000 K. Maybe we can collab. And if you know the artist Ehide, he's been very big like that time. There's been this like, my favorite squad was like Ehide, Spaghetti, and Panda Eyes. And like I hit up Ehide and I'm like, hey, I'm your fan. I want to work with you. And he said like, yes, for sure. Let's make something. And we've made a collab. And I think since that collab, it kind of opened my door because he was very big at the time. He was like in the internet, SoundCloud, YouTube kind of area. He was a pioneer. Him, Spaghetti, Panda Eyes, like all the internet dubstep, the young teenager dubstep, not the festival dubstep, but that was pretty big.
Yeah.
So from there, I got more uploads, more opportunities. And then one day I released a track, and I had a little foundation of a few fans, maybe a couple thousand of followers on SoundCloud, and Facebook was big back then, like very big. That was like the Instagram, TikTok of today. It was Facebook. So I made a track, and I didn't mean it to be that way, but it had like a SpongeBob vocal, and I didn't think of how viral it can get. I didn't think about like it's a TV show, it's a big TV show. Even people that are not dubstep can enjoy it because it's like, you know, it's like viral. So without really knowing, I had my first track to get 1 million views. I was 14 years old. I was shocked. I was like, what the hell is going on? Why is this track is like #2 on SoundCloud, all over charts, under Skrillex? Like, why is it happening? You know, like, why is my track so high there? And with that fall by, I got my first show offer in Paris. I played in France. I was like 15 years old. Who played there? Like Ehide played there, DUBSTEP played there, Midnight Tea played there, Squanto played there.
Cool. What a big show.
I think it was before. Oh, it was like 3,000 people. I think like 2 big stages. It was pretty serious. Like I was pretty surprised I played there.
Yeah.
They were like the biggest dubstep company in like France back in time. shout out drum and bass. So I played that show. It was pretty shocking. And since that point, like my life kind of changed because I kept releasing more and more and more music and working with more and more artists. And then it caused me to have these big foundation of supporters and listeners. And around the end of 2015, I've quit school. I didn't quit school. My Tourette was very bad. So I got this letter that frees me from school technically, because it's illegal to leave school before like 16 and I was 15. But still, it's a letter that if you're in life danger, you get it. And I was in life danger. I was like completely disabled. I could not eat by myself. Was difficult to shower by myself. I had these tics and tweaks like all day long. I could not sleep. I was like super overweight because I could not move. Shit was bad.
Well, and I think the important part leading up to that is going back to when you were pitching your song out and you kept getting rejected. You kept getting all these no's, and then you got that one yes. And like from what you just said, that literally was the snowball that started your entire career. So yeah, your persistence is what really mattered.
But I think that at the end of the day, like, I think what mattered is that I never tried. You know, I was sending these like, so I'll be honest, I was not like 100%, you know, I was very weird, and my mind was very weird. And living with what I lived back then and even now, it was very hard for me to understand reality. So my reason to get on the channel was not even because I wanted to be known or wanted the song to succeed. I just wanted to see my song in that channel. I didn't even know it's going to lead to any success. I didn't understand that it can't even snowball. I've never imagined to have a career. If someone asked me what you're going to do when you're adult, I was like, I don't know. I didn't know that it was music. I had no idea it's going to happen.
You were doing it for yourself.
Yeah, I just had fun. Again, it was a game. It's still, now it's not a game, it's a freaking business, but it was a game. And still to this day, I treat it like, when I sit to make music, I don't want to think about money or shows. I want to think about anything about, my fans gonna like that, I'm gonna play this show, is this song's gonna be big and make money. Like, I just want to sit there, make something cool, enjoy myself, and hope that whoever listens to that is going to enjoy himself too when they hear that song. Like, music makes me feel stuff that nothing else can do. Not even my music, but just music in general. So when people listen to my music, I really hope they can feel the same about my music, like I can feel about music in general. And at the end of the day, we all can agree that music saved our butts so many times from doing really bad stuff. And I feel like anyone that's connected to music to a very deep state, like us, that's actually investing in music and trying to do a career out of it, or has a passion for music, we all have this mutual feeling to music. We believe in what it has to give us. We believe in how powerful music is. I feel that music is powerful as medicine, as like, you know, as surgeries. I feel that music is so powerful, and it changed people's life. And they don't have to be musicians, but the amount of times I had fans that died, fans that were, you know, almost died, fans that were in prison and sent me, like, told their prisoners to send me messages on like Facebook. You know, like, there is so many stories, so many people I've met in digital world and the actual in real life world. And at the end of the day, I do it for the people. I feel like my mission in this world is to make sure that, I know there's a lot of musicians, but just in case, I want to make sure I make music so people can have a place to escape, so people can have a place to feel better and just have a good couple of minutes, you know, because life can be so hard sometimes for all of us. And when people go for shows, maybe they're not necessarily like fans of this music. You know, a lot of times people go to a show because they have friends that go to a show. And if someone that doesn't know me, doesn't know my music, doesn't know anything about EDM, go to his first show, he sees me and I make him feel something that he hasn't felt in a while. And I make him feel good. And I transfer him this vibe. And then he goes home, check my music, listen to it, and it's kind of a routine to feel a little better, have this good memory, and it helps him to get over and his struggle. That's why I do this, because I know my story and my music and my impact has value for so many people. Even though I feel like a complete normal person, I live a normal life. I just like live with my girl. I love my family. I love puppies, and like I love music. I love memes. I'm just a normal person.
And the coolest part is that you've been able to reach people in different countries. Like you've probably reached people in every single country through your music.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like, I'm gonna be honest, everyone always asks me like, when I do Israel interviews, like, did you try to direct to outside of Israel? No, I just made music, and like my country doesn't have a big scene for EDM in general. Obviously now I have fans and I've had press and I've worked with big artists in my country, but I never had a focus. Like, I want to say, do you focus on the US? Do you focus on Europe? Do you focus on like, this and this? And I'm like, I don't focus on anywhere. Like I worked with the biggest DJ in India because I just thought it will be freaking cool to work with something in a country like India. And I've played in China because I got the opportunity, and I have fans in China.
Yeah, what was it like playing in China?
Very different than anything else I've ever had. That's for sure. They have their own ecosystem and their own way to react to dubstep first, and then they have their own like it's more like a movie scene than real life. Like I had like 15 guards, red carpet.
Wow.
These,
total
like,
VIP
fans,
experience.
yeah, these fans holding these like fire stuff, and there is like a huge picture of me that's like bigger than my room and my building, just huge picture of me. And I get to this venue and there is like pictures of me everywhere, and the elevator has a picture of me.
You're like a king over there.
China very they respect international acts a lot, I think.
That's amazing.
And they have their own like medias and like platforms to showcase music. Like they have their own apps for that, they have their own social medias for that. Like I've checked, I was like, when I came to the channel, I asked the tour manager straight, like, listen, I want to be honest, like, you guys don't have like YouTube or SoundCloud on like Spotify. How the heck like I'm playing in China? And like how? And he explained that they have their own social medias. He showed me my page. They copy everything that happens in English and put it in Chinese. All the songs they put put it there. And I've seen that like I have like fucking 200,000 like followers in there, and I'm like, I'm big in China, bro. Like, oh my god, that's crazy.
Wow.
But it happens in Russia too. They have their own like forums. It happens in India. All countries have these like sub communities that are so strong. I feel like without having these sub communities in Latin America, in Asia, in Europe, in all these countries, without them, I will never make it to a point that, even if a lot of these countries I haven't played yet, I'm just happy that there is communities that love what I do and respect what I do, and people that like it brings them together. For example, if I have few fans if I have fans in Germany, and them like sometimes someone comment on my post in German or something, and someone comes like, oh, I'm German too, and then they just like become friends, and I've connected, like, my music connected people. So it happened so many times. I've heard so many stories. I met my wife because of you. I met my best friend because of you. I connected with some old friends because of you, just simply because someone posted a song of mine, and someone that he knew like years ago saw it, or two people from the same country like met because of it's the music. I never be like, I'm Wales and I connect people. My music connects people, and I'm just happy to deliver that to the world. I'm glad I'm able to do that, to be honest. This is my guess. I've never aiming to be like, I never want to be like super famous. I never want to be like super rich. I simply just want to make people feel better. There's so much better in this world. And one thing that never disappointed me and never like made me feel terrible is music.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I just want to put this positive energy out there.
Well, I mean, for instance, like your song Every Single Time, when I traveled Europe with my mom, I had that on repeat pretty much every country we went to. And now I listen to that song and it brings back really good memories of this trip that I've had. And it's like channeling those emotions that you really can't, like, you can't find anywhere else except for through songs that make you feel some type of way. So I definitely see the impact firsthand. I mean, internationally, especially.
I'm glad you could enjoy it. You know, like I'm always every time someone tells me enjoy my song, it makes me happy. I never get it from for granted, even if it's like million times a day. It's
Mm-hmm.
like every person is special, and even though there has been like like more than billion streams, and there is so many people that are aware of my music, every person, like any one of these billion means something to me because like it's not just a number
Mm-hmm.
behind every play, every stream, every view, there is a person that a lot of them, not all of them, but I hope a lot of them did enjoy the song. And to know that I made that many people feel good, even for 3 minutes or 5 minutes, or
Mm-hmm.
if they checked my other songs, maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes, maybe they binged my Spotify and I've made their night. Knowing that, knowing that makes me feel good, makes me feel that it was worth it to fight for my own life. And sometimes when I feel like, when I feel bad and I feel worthless and I feel depressed and anxious, I tell myself, at least I mean something to this world.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I'm not enjoying myself at the moment, there is
Mhm.
people that need me to be here and need me to keep doing what I do because I need to be here for them, not just for me. And I'm a person that I care about other people more than I care about myself. I got it from my mom. I got it from my family. My heart is like way too big. I never can just think about myself. I always think about like how can I do good for other people. And when I was young, people used to use me a lot and just make me do stuff for them and just
Mm-hmm.
really use me. And I was like, well, I can't let people use me anymore, but I can keep making music, and that's gonna be my
Mm-hmm.
gift. That's gonna be my like big helper. And maybe some people are gonna see this interview and be like, oh dude, it's just music. Why are you speaking like music? It's this legendary thing that helps everyone. It did help from me. It
It
saved
is.
my life.
Mhm.
It
It
saved
saved a lot
my
of people.
yeah, it saved my life. So even if some people cannot understand the value and the power of music and sound and emotions and what you can get through this, and even like the part of like even my supporters, my fans, people that look up to me, I think I'm a better figure than a lot of like these public figures like this
Mm-hmm.
influencers. I never have any negativity going on. I love my
Yeah.
fans. I answer like 99% of my messages. I help my fans. I'm there for them. I appreciate them. I tell them I love them every week. I'm thankful every time. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
never like I feel they're my friends, they're my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for these people to even feel less alone or get a better image of like, oh, like Whales is a nice person, maybe I'll be more like
Mm-hmm.
Whales because I'm this good kid, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I'm a very lawful person. Like I'm always trying to be like a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
like
so
better today than you were the day before.
yeah. So I always want people to have this growth and feel good about themselves and feel confident and
Mm-hmm.
inspire people. Obviously, like, I love telling my story, not because I love people like cheering me out, but because like when people hear my story, it's natural for them to be like, hey, this kid made it from zero.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can too. That's what I want them to get from my story. That's why I'm thankful that I can also share my story and not just my music, because I love voicing out about life, about my perspective of life. I think that there is a lot to learn from me,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that my way of positivity and my way of motivation and my hard work and my ethics about life could help, and they do help some people.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like they all say, if you're not like, you can't fix the problem, so don't be a part of the problem.
Right.
Maybe I'm not going to change the world, but knowing that I'm a pretty good kid. I mean, like, I'm a good kid. I live a normal life. Some people just need some normal human beings around them. Like, all that you see on the internet, these Ferraris and these pranks, everything is
flashy
scripted.
influencers.
Everything is scripty, everything is fake. And I'm sitting here and be like, hey guys, I'm just making music for 20 hours a day. And I'm like totally normal and I'm funny, and like I like memes and I'm not crazy. I'm just a normal human being like you, and you like my music. So stay normal. It's okay. There is this insanity kind of race right now that like people, I mean, obviously I'm not like normal. I'm pretty weird, but it's also like one of these things, like people need to know that there is place for them to be themselves, and feel normal, acceptness. I don't know, like I'm just glad that I can spread positivity all over the place. That's my goal. I always want to be, I don't want to be this like fake smile person, because when I feel bad I speak about it as well. But this is why I like it. This is why I like it, because like my fans know I can feel bad. They know I can feel better. Sometimes I make some music, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I feel like doing something, sometimes I don't. It's a very real, I'm just real with them. I'm not being like an alter ego. And I feel like maybe if I would have an alter ego and a personnel, I would market myself better, because I don't know how many people will be interested in a person like me. I mean, I'm surprised there is so many fans. But
well, you're relatable. That's what's so appealing about you. I mean,
hope so.
One of the things that I appreciate seeing in the scene is when artists are like, hey, my DMs are open. If you ever need me, like, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here for you. My music is here for you. Like, that's just something I respect a lot, is when artists make themselves available for their fans.
Yeah, well, like, again, like, I know it's called, like, it's very cliche to say, but these aren't fans, like when you like someone's music, like I'm gonna say it by myself. When I was young and I liked someone's music, I didn't know them, but I felt like they're friends. Like my fans feel like they're my friends, and they are. When they see me and they want to give me a hug, let's go. When they want to take a picture, I don't care if I gotta like stay and I have a flight coming on and stuff. Like I'm never gonna keep someone that expected us. I mean, like there's limits, right? But if someone expected a picture with me and the hug and to say hi, I'm not gonna leave them disappointed. Like they need to know. Everyone that supports me need to know that they're a huge part of my life, just as I'm a part of their lives. They're even a bigger part. Like I appreciate them more than if they appreciate me, because of them I'm able to live my dreams. Because of them I'm able to support my family. Because of them I can be the person I am. Because of them I can have fun every day. I will never be able to work a day job. I will not, because I'm lazy, but because I'm disabled. Like imagine me going and trying to apply for a job, and I have the skill, but I'm like, yeah, no school, no army, and I have like autism, and I have Tourette's, and I have OCD, and I have anxiety, and I have depression, I have that. Like I go there and they're like, oh yeah, I will never be accepted to anywhere, And music is like, I don't need anyone to tell me if I can do it or not. I just did it. I did it, and it's pretty great. I'm as you can see, I'm very excited still to this day. It's been years that I've been touring and playing music, and stuff's been big for years, but I'm never gonna like, it's like everyone that know me knows that I'm gonna be excited about this until the last day I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. And that's such a humble note to hear from you. I mean, a lot of artists, they seem so big, especially international artists. They're like untouchable sometimes. So hearing that is something that we really appreciate too, like looking at it from the outside, looking at it from across the other side of the world. So I think that's a really humble note to lead into our next round of the interview. We have a lightning round. So we've got 6 questions for you. We're just going to kind of spit them at you, answer them pretty quickly. We're going to get through them. And I'll let Yessie take the lead on the first question.
Yes. Right. So the first one is, who are your producer best friends?
Oh, man. It's going to be so hard to answer this question because, like,
you don't want to offend anyone.
I'm going to forget so many people, but like, Honestly, I feel that the last couple of years, there's been a lot of these like label groups and squad, and like you said, a lot of these like untouchable groups. But
Like
I just
clicks.
love hanging. I love hanging out with everyone. I love like I don't love to limit myself to I only gotta be with these people and these people. I definitely can mention like my boys Heim Ghost, Borgor, Heritage, Jewel, Benda, Sultan, and like honestly. I forgot so many people, but they know who they are. Like my friends know who they are. There is lovely people in this industry that I'm thankful for, and yeah, like shout out to everyone. Like actually, like anyone that's like doing what I do. I love you guys. I know it's not easy, but I love you.
Hell yeah. What is your top dream travel destination?
Okay, I know this one. So I kind of played everywhere I wanted, only because like I never had big expectations. So I'm like, I'm already like 1,000,000% more than I expected. But there's this one place I want to play. Australia. I was supposed to play in Australia for so many times, and every time something else happened. And I really just want to play in Australia because from what I've seen, it's such a free country and everyone is so funny. And I love being funny. I love like good jokes and I love great food. And they have great food. And like I don't know, I feel like my personality could kind of be okay, like connect with Australian people. And I think I could have a lot of fun there.
Oh yeah,
Maybe not drink alcohol because I don't drink, but I think like just be with people that are like super happy and hyped. I like when people are very having a good time. I can have a good time. I don't need to like drink something. I can just connect with them naturally and have a good time.
We really want to go to a hardstyle festival in Australia. That would be sick.
Be so much fun. That's like the goals. But I know that Chrissy and I are always making jokes on like puns that they normally say in Australia, but they're very inappropriate here in America, at least, or people get offended really easily out here. So got to be a little more careful with that.
They throw around the cuss words.
All right, next question. So, what is the best show or festival that you've ever played, or like the most memorable?
Oh man, I feel like every show makes me feel great because even the show is not going as planned, even the show is bigger than I expected. At the end of the day, people, wherever, like 50 people, 1,000 people, 5,000 people, no matter where it is, people buy a ticket to see me. And I did all this sacrifice of not seeing my family, not seeing my girlfriend, all this stuff. And, touring with my illness, I have chronic pain. To tour for someone like me, I suffer constantly. I'm just in pain like 24/7 when I'm touring. It's bad. It's bad for me. It's totally bad for me. But I've made all this sacrifice. So every show I make, I'm like 200% about it. I don't care if it's like how many people are there. I'm gonna have a good ass time because, first of all, the people. I flew from one side of the world to another side of the world. People came there to see me. It's not even about paying for the ticket as much as it's like they dressed up, got their friends, drove and came to a venue to see me, the Israeli, Tal, play a show. So I always got to give them 100%. And when I give 100% for myself at a show and I give a great show, it's my favorite show because I know that no matter what happened, I did my best.
Amen. What is your favorite subgenre to produce, if there is one?
Anything melodic. Melodies can make me feel stuff that nothing else can. I can get goosebumps. I can just like cry. Melodic stuff is, and it can be melodic dubstep. It can be like anything, but anything with melodies. I don't know why, but these notes are just making me feel fly.
Same. I'm always blasting your track the last time with Excision. Always.
Favorite, yeah.
I love that track.
There's so many great ones in the album like that. It's gonna be amazing. You both like probably gonna love the album. I think it's gonna be.
I'm so excited.
I'm very excited. Trust me. I've been working on that So it's not gonna be just like we'll get there maybe, but the album is not gonna be normal. It's gonna be visually and musically my best yet. In my opinion, it's gonna be a big boom.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yes, looking forward to it. Everybody stay locked. It drops in a couple days after this airs. So brace yourselves.
Exactly. All right. 2 more questions. So what was the last show you played before COVID hit?
I played a show in Baltimore. It was the first time in Baltimore, in Maryland, in the 7th March 2020. So it's like a year ago. It was like the quarantine, the lockdown in California started in like the 17th. So it was like almost like touching it. But even when we flew, I was like, everyone was wearing masks and stuff was very like, you know, I had a feeling that I knew it's gonna be the last show for a while. But yeah, the 7 March was like the last show. But I knew the tour is gonna stop even like way before COVID even hit the US. I was like one of the first people to go and buy masks, just because like I knew that just in case, even if it's not gonna be a big deal, I knew that mask will be like very not available. And it was true, like a few weeks after I bought like 200 masks, like this big pack, they were sold out everywhere. And a lot of people were like selling them and trading them. So I was lucky to like buy like a pack.
Did you get toilet paper?
Huh?
Did you get toilet paper?
I'm a baby wipe kind of guy. Yeah.
Nice and soft.
Even those were not available, at least out here in Denver. I was like, there's no toilet paper, so baby wipes, there's literally nothing.
Oh yeah, like I stocked up. Like when it started out, I just like bought a good portion of them, and it lasted until the gods. Like I wish we had that in Israel though. That's like there's a few things I miss about living in the US, and Costco is like one of them. But
I love Costco.
At least I lost a couple of pounds not living in the US, which I'm pretty glad.
Yeah, no In-N-Out in Israel.
Oh no, McDonald's.
No, I don't know. There is McDonald's, but I'm like, so the thing is, I never eat outside. Even in the US, I would cook my own meals. I love cooking a lot. That's like my passion. But the problem with America is that everything was so cheap. You know, like Israel is a very expensive country. So, you know, if I would not eat like red meat, a steak every day. I would eat rice and chicken and like kind of keep it less expensive because, you know, normal days I don't gotta eat like a king, but in the US it's so cheap. I could eat like a king every day. And you know what happens when you eat like a king every day? Even if you make your own meals, even if it's healthy, and it was pretty healthy, you still gonna gain weight because that's how life works. But when I got back to Israel, it's kind of like, oh man, everything is so expensive. I am gonna stop these habits. Yeah. I'm still trying to lose more weight. I'm like, today I started a salad diet, which wish me luck.
You got it. Okay, last question for you. If you could headline any festival on the planet, what would it be? Lost Lands?
Yeah. 100%.
Easy.
100%.
Good choice.
Period. And then EDC, but Lost Lands, it's like, have you been to Lost Lands?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to Lost Lands, but like, I remember in 2017, I think like the first Lost Lands, I have watched the live stream and then the like official after movie. And I was like, it was before I even had my US visa. And I was like, holy shit. Like, and I got my mom to the room and I was like, Mom, this is what heaven looks like. You know, like, just look at this. This is where you want to be. And we'll see. Maybe this festival we've talked about is like, we'll see. Maybe I'll see you there. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a really good feeling about it this year. I've just been envisioning it in my head and manifesting that it's going to happen perfectly.
Yes, we're manifesting it. Oh, we have a good feeling it is going to happen. And I think,
I hope even if I'm not going to play, I hope to go this year just because like, I want to feel dubstep at its peak, and nothing is more dubstep than Lost Lands. I just want to experience that
Yes.
whole thing, you know. I just want to be there, even if I play, even if I'm not. I'm not like, even if I don't play this year, so next year, you know, like I always have this like, no Lost Lands this year, next year, next year.
Well,
But
and with the way that the vaccine rollout's going in Israel, I think that you're probably going to be one of the first countries that we let back in.
oh, we were I can enter the US already.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, like, no, Israel is totally good. We're like 100% good. Most of the country is vaccinated. I got it, no problems.
Yeah.
My family's got it. My girlfriend's family's got it. Like, everyone's completely good. So now it's time for the US to get better, and it seems like the US is getting better. So yeah, hopefully soon I can come back and play some more shows.
Yeah, the future is starting to look bright, and I think that more and more states should start opening once people start getting more vaccinated, because it should be a personal choice. Like, hey, if you don't feel safe, then don't go out. But we should open up businesses. We should let everything just get back to normal. Obviously, maybe not so quickly, but slowly roll out everything.
I think that like honestly, I would love to come back to the States and play shows, but I never wanted to be on like, I never want someone to die for me to be able to do that. If it's got to take another half a year or a year, it's okay. But I hope that it's going to take less than that. At the end of the day, it's going to come back sometimes. Maybe not the same as it's been. Maybe it's going to be very different. Maybe we're going to wear masks. Maybe there's going to be testing all around and whatever, but it's going to come back. And one thing I've learned in this last year is to be patient. Very, very patient. And I think it's gonna, how you say it? I think it's gonna pay off. I think the patience is gonna pay off, because when stuff comes back and when everything is back to normal, I have a very good feeling about music and the scene. I think we're going to see a lot of new artists, big artists, pushing new artists, and a lot of new genres, and just everything's going to be fresh. You know, when you buy something, like when you get into a new car and it smells like a new car, you know what I mean?
That new car smell.
I think the next phase of electronic music and shows, I hope, is going to be the same way. I don't want to see like the same lineups and same music being played as before. I don't want to play even one song that I've been playing before COVID. I want to be like all new, all brand new. And yeah, like I've made my move. This album is going to be for sure. It's going to be my leg into the next phase. And I'm excited to tour with it and with the other like million songs I made during COVID.
Yes, we can't wait to see you on the road. We hope you come to Denver soon.
Oh, like as soon as I can, I'm gonna come to Denver. This is one of my favorite places.
We'll take you hiking.
We'll
take you hiking, show you all the glacier lakes.
I wish. I told you, like me, when I'm like, you know, in a city, even though I've been to Denver twice and I played in Colorado Springs, I played in Grand Junction, but even though I've been to these places, every time I come to like Denver, I'm like, I want to see stuff. I want to go around. I'm always very excited about stuff. And after being a year, like this is the most I've ever went without playing shows, like 10 months, I think, like since my first show internationally. This is the most I've ever had without playing shows. So I think I'm gonna be very, very excited to get on a plane next time I'm on a plane.
Me too.
Might as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be very, very excited to be in Denver.
Yes. Well, that concludes the lightning round and the podcast. It was great to have you on the show. Are there any final words that you'd like to say to our audiences who are listening right now?
I love you all. Thank you for, I mean, you spend an hour and a half from your life probably just listening to this. And I hope you gained something great, or maybe just had fun, or like, you know, like had a good time, just had a good 1 hour and a half. And thank you so much, Christina, and how you pronounce the name?
Yesenia.
Yesenia? What's your origin? Like, where are you from? That's a special name.
So apparently it's Russian, but I'm Mexican. My
Oh, that's
family,
cool.
my
Because
family comes from
I
Mexico. Mhm.
I'm Ukrainian and German, but I can speak Russian fluent. So that's
Ooh,
what
I can't.
that's why I was like the name kind of reminds me. But thank you so much, Yesenia, and thank you, Christina. Dubstep FBI. Make sure to subscribe and for more episodes. And yeah, like if anyone's looking for me, I'm Wells FM in all social medias. I have my album coming out in a label that you all know. Like everyone that sees this is probably gonna see the album announcements, and so it's gonna be pretty big, pretty big. We got a good year ahead. I'm very hopeful.
Yes, I
But
agree.
yeah, be safe, be good people, and thank you so much to everyone